As any long-time viewers of the channel will know, I love a variety of games. And it makes me so damn happy that this channel has grown to the point where I can show off a bunch of different games that I enjoy and not just be trapped into a single niche. Therefore, today I'm bringing you something quite different to my usual content, courtesy of Omeda Studios. This is a new MOBA style game. It has been in early access for nearly 2 years now, with tremendous amounts of updates and additions, and is now finally in open beta and completely free to play. And it is called Predecessor. If you haven't heard of this game before, it has the core of a MOBA, but with many mechanics of a third-person shooter. Therefore, it offers a unique take on the MOBA genre, with its close-to-the-action camera style and manually aimed, skill-based abilities. Now that you know what the game is, let me tell you a few of the key reasons why I really enjoy this. I must admit I haven't been into MOBAs for a while, but when they reached out asking me if I wanted to check this out, I was immediately very pleasantly surprised. First of all, this is currently the only Unreal Engine 5 MOBA. Being that Predecessor is created in Unreal Engine 5, this allows the developers to produce high-resolution, high-fidelity graphics for current and previous-gen consoles. And I must admit, I was immediately blown away with the quality of the graphics, especially considering it's a free-to-play game. The fact that Omeda Studios are ahead of the curve using Unreal Engine 5 gives me a lot of hope and promise for the game's future. And I was initially slightly worried with the high resolution and the quality of the graphics that may translate to FPS dips here and there or slight performance issues, but trust me, it has been as crisp as anything on the PC. And I have every reason to believe it's just as responsive and fluid on both PlayStation and Xbox as well. So not only does this look really fun to play, it genuinely feels really fun to play. And as I've just mentioned, it is completely free to play on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. So you can download it and try it yourself right now, clicking on my link in the description below or in the pinned comment. And as it is free to download and play, there's absolutely no reason not to get involved and try it out, because you're not losing out either way, and if you do try it, you might have just found your new favourite MOBA. Now, awesome graphics are all well and good, but they don't mean much without amazing assets to show off your awesome graphics, and that brings me to the huge roster of original characters already in the game. Considering this is still in very early access, there are upwards of 30 completely original characters, and each one completely unique in looks, style, and gameplay. If this is your first MOBA, or if you haven't played one for a while, this is very beginner friendly. I still have auto buy turned on for everything, and I don't feel like it's really hindering my gameplay all that much. I'm sure if you want to min-max and you want to get really, really good at the champions, then obviously eventually you're going to want to stop relying on the crutch of auto-buy and really learn the shop and the items, and I'll come back to that when I talk about the menus in just a minute. But for now, the auto-buy option is fantastic. I still feel like I can go toe-to-toe even with players that are far better at this game than me, and usually hold my own, even with all of the auto-bought shop-suggested items. And as I'm talking about the shop, you probably want to have a look at the UI. How is it to navigate? How confusing is it? And even though, just like most MOBAs, in-game it is quite frantic, you don't have that long to look at the shop. However, fear not, because outside of each match in the menus, you can look through all of the items here and you can see what you want to try for your next build. And you can use these screens to help familiarize yourself with the shop and with the items that you want to go for in your next build. This is going to be fantastic for people who want to get hardcore with this game and really want to min-max and read and study every single item description. Something I am terrible at, so it will probably be hours and hours before I turn off auto buy and start to look at this thoroughly myself. Another amazing feature that's been added to this game, which I'm sure will be improved and expanded upon as the development lifecycle progresses, is the watch replays feature. Not only are you able to record and watch your own matches back, to allow for things such as sharing awesome plays with your friends, or just studying up on the match and seeing where you went wrong and where you can improve. But on top of this, and potentially even better, if you have the replay ID of a particular game, you can pop this into your game launcher and watch it yourself, giving you the ability to spectate every member of that game and watching professional tournament matches yourself, so you can see exactly how the pros play, what abilities they use, their positioning, their skills, what items they buy, the whole works. And this is going to be fantastic for people who really want to min-max their build and learn and study all aspects of the game. Next up, and something that's going to be music to a lot of people's ears, Predecessor was developed with both consoles and PC gamers in mind. So not only does it run beautifully on all systems, it has full cross-play functionality. So you can play together regardless of your platform, be it on PC, PlayStation or Xbox. This means you can play with your friends and with randoms no matter where they are. Another thing I really like about Predecessor, as opposed to similar games in the genre, is it takes elements from already successful MOBAs, but then it makes them its own. And by that, to explain what I mean, let me give you a couple of examples. Looking at the game without playing it yourself, it probably looks kind of similar to Smite, albeit far more beautiful. And although both of these games do use the third person behind the character action camera, Predecessor brings its own unique charm and amazingly designed characters which all feel so cool to play. And with its fully skill-based roster of abilities, where positioning and manual aiming really truly matters, it means even though this is very, very easy to pick up and play, the skill ceiling is almost infinite, and you are perpetually improving and getting better and better at this game, which makes you feel incredibly powerful. And perhaps most importantly, at least in my experience, even though this is a big up-and-coming game in the MOBA genre, it doesn't seem to have attracted the same toxic player base of a few other MOBAs that shall remain nameless. As we're moving into the conclusion for my first look at Predecessor, I realise I haven't talked about the gameplay all that much. As I say, it's very, very beginner-friendly. No matter which role you pick, there will be arrows on the floor guiding and advising where you should go. Of course, once you get more advanced and you decide to do crazy tactics that the game and the other team don't expect, you can ignore all the arrows and all the guidance, but there is so much gentle hand-holding to help get you accustomed to the game. And all of the familiar roles are there for people who are returning to a MOBA. So you've got top lane, mid lane, jungle, etc, etc. But each with their own unique twist, because the map layout is slightly different. And I really like that there is extra jungle at the top and the bottom of the map to make for some really crazy plays from more advanced teams. So if you're even mildly interested in trying out a MOBA, this is the one I suggest. It's really beginner friendly, it's non-toxic, it's free to play, it looks gorgeous. Honestly, can't recommend it enough. I'm having a lot more fun with this game than I initially thought I would. And as I mentioned earlier, because it's free to play, you've got nothing to lose. So hop in using my code below in the description and the pinned comment, and maybe we can play a game together sometime. And with that, my friends, all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.